The Morning Dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station.
And he won another award.
But this one is better.
I'm your boogeyman. That's what I am.
It's The Morning Dish with the 2019 Radio Personality of the Year winner, Stephen Phillips.
You paying attention to this, Packy?
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Yeah, you must have given horseback passes to the right guy, Stephen.
Well, giddy up.
And Packy Smith's Shetland pony is right alongside.
You guys know these demo tapes don't just edit themselves together, right?
Well, all right.
3 cheers for Stephen Phillips.
Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All right, folks, we are back with you right here on the Morning Dish. I am tickled to death, man. I know y'all have seen the toy, and not to mention all the other stuff this young man has been in. Scott Schwartz, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the young man part. I appreciate that.
There you go. You're younger than I am, so just by a month or two, but that's all right. So anyway, how's the world been treating you?
Not too much different than the way it's been treating everybody else, really. It's we're hanging in there. Everybody's just got to keep on keeping on, and at some point there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
There you go. Hey, I've got to know, man, The Toy was one of my favorite movies growing up. Man, I loved it. You was actually in there with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor. How was that, man? That had to be something to just brag to your grandkids about.
If I ever had grandkids, I would be blabbering to them and bragging, but it was great. I mean, they were already icons and legends and all that kind of thing, and but they both treated me very, very kindly, and Richard was a close friend, a mentor, a muse until he was gone, and Mr. Gleason, he was Pop. That's just what I called him.
Right. That was cool. But now during the, in the movies, on the outtakes, when you were out sitting around waiting for everything to happen or the next scene or whatever, was Richard, he a cut up and kind of go on, or he kind of kept to himself? He
was like the wind-up toy.
Right.
If he wasn't going, he was studious, underlining things, reading books, highlighting things in books. He wanted to learn.
Right.
But once he got going, then forget it. He would just go for an hour.
Yeah, I can imagine. He was so much fun, man. Watching him, all the comedian stuff that he did over the years is crazy. But that was a great movie, and you were good in it, man. You were actually despisable, to be honest with you. Watching you, of course, that's what you wanted to be.
I hung with the boys, and that's what was necessary.
Right.
And what came out was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. Now, you was in the Christmas Story. I guess one of your favorite famous photos is you with your tongue stuck to the pole. Is that right?
Oh yeah. It's really funny. A nice Jewish kid from Jersey ends up being an icon in the Christmas movie.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That is it. So
yeah.
But you had a lot.
Now listen, Christmas Story was not supposed to be a big iconic film or anything else. It was a labor of love that Bob Clark and he just loved Gene Shepard's writing and his voice, and came up with this, the film from the writings of Gene Shepard, and nobody expected it to do anything, and here we are, my God, it's 38 years and we're still going.
Yeah, that's unreal. Still getting the residual checks. You got to love it.
That's not what it is. That's not what you think it is.
No. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. They keep cutting them down and cutting them down, cutting them down. So let me ask you something.
I always tell people residual checks. I said, if that was the case, Samuel L. Jackson has been in more movies than anybody. Right. Why is he still working if all these big residual checks are coming in? Because they ain't all big residual checks. That's why. Yeah.
So let me ask you something. Now, you was a child actor, and then, you have to grow up. Did that hurt you in the acting? I mean, was you did you get any...
Realistically,
right.
It had nothing to do with acting. It's called puberty.
Right.
My face changed, my voice changed, and I was still in my little 5'1" body, but I sounded like a 25-year-old man, and it's kind of tough to keep that guy as a 13-year-old,
right,
14-year-old, 15-year-old. When I turned 21 and went to Vegas legally for the first time, I'll never forget it. I sat down at the table, and the pit boss came over, and he was laughing at me.
Right.
And he comes over, and he's like, I need to see your ID. I said, why? He goes, because there is no way on this planet you're 21.
Right.
And I said, no, I am. He goes, you look 15. I said, well, the Lord gave me a young face. What can I do about that?
Oh.
And believe it or not, I'm still friends with that guy to this day.
Well, that's cool, though. When you get like 90 years old, you'll look like 50.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah. Let's hope. So you've been staying busy now. I mean, with all the COVID stuff, I know a lot of stuff slowed down, but I mean, you still been in the acting, doing the acting?
There's not really been any acting. It's just been trying to line things up for somewhere down the road.
Right.
You know, this thing has been, just devastating to a lot of people. You know, we pay our bills and do things by doing other things, whether it's appearances or motivational speaking or whatever it is.
Right.
And this thing just put a kibosh on everything. And, I kind of look at me, I live a fairly simple life, but there are others that don't and needed that income, and I see them and they're struggling and they're my friends. And, unfortunately, I'm not Bill Gates. I can't just put my hand in my pocket and help everybody.
Oh,
It's been rough to see families destroyed and people passing away and all of these things.
yeah.
We're all human. I don't care what anybody says. We're all human at the end of the day.
Right.
We should all treat each other better.
I'm with you on that. It seems like, when people think you're in the movies, whether you're in one movie or two movies, they think you've got, you're loaded. You've got all kinds of money. I know what you're talking about. But we have a lot of folks on the show, and like you say, a lot of them are struggling because of this. They just live from paycheck to paycheck. Of course, people in everyday world's doing the same thing. But you don't think about famous people. You think they've got it made. But I understand that. But now you're doing a lot.
Well, I've always said acting is the worst job in the world.
Mm-hmm. Because
you don't know when your next job is coming. It's not like being a plumber, electrician, or somebody that's needed. We're not needed.
Right.
It's a perk. It's a perk in life to be entertained. Paycheck to paycheck is not necessarily what we all do.
Well, now, do you do Cameo too? Do you do that?
I do Cameo. I am on Cameo. Actually, I have to do one in a little while. I got one that today is the last day, and then I got another one that I got to do, and I get one here and one there, during the non-holiday months, and that's great. I get to say happy birthday to people or happy anniversary or whatever it is, and
right.
It's a way to say hi to the fans. It's great.
Well, I bet you stay busy during Christmas season.
Yeah, I kind of stay a little busy during the holidays between the end of October, November, December. I am a little busy.
So
not quite as busy as Santa Claus, but I'm busy.
Yeah. So what else do you do to keep your time busy? What do you do during the day? You got anything going on?
Writing. I'm trying to put together I've got a pilot I'm putting together. I got a book that should be out in September, October. Thank goodness, I could still do private signings here and there, and it just pays the bills. It just
right.
keeps me paying my mortgage and my electric and all those things.
So now, what's your book about you've got coming out?
It's a not an autobiography. I had a ghostwriter do it, but it's my life. As I say, it's the good, the great, the bad, the ugly.
Right. Well, you've been up and down. You've been up on top, and then, of course, everybody has, I guess. But you've got you've got a lot of history and a lot of stuff.
I've seen. Listen, I didn't quite see the top of the hill because I wasn't of that status.
Right.
But I was up there a little bit, and then you see the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
And you just got to kind of find that medium place in life where you're happy and you're okay and you're content and you can live and enjoy. I've been in that place for a long time, and but the good definitely has outweighed the bad. There's no question.
Yeah. So now, how old was you when you first started acting?
I was 8.
Wow. So now
It's been a few days.
How old was you when you was in the toy?
I was 13 and 14. I had my birthday while we were shooting.
Right. And then the Christmas.
Yeah, actually, you're making me think because it was just the other day, March 27th of 77 was my first job. So I'm at 44 years of this insanity.
Yeah. Now, what was the first movie you was in?
The Toy.
The Toy. And then Christmas Story. How old was you then?
Christmas Story is 7 months later.
Right.
I did another film in the middle called Kidco, for 20th Century Fox. But I did 3 movies over a calendar year.
I love the toy, man. I keep going back to it. I could not imagine to get to hang out with Richard Pryor and Gleason all day long. That had to be so much fun. I mean,
no, it was all day, all night. I mean, I played video games with Richard in his room 3-4 nights a week.
Right.
You know, we kind of had our schedule. You know, we'd be shooting. You go back to the room. You clean up. You go have dinner, and then 11 o'clock, The Honeymooners was on 5 days a week down in Baton Rouge where we were shooting, and Richard knew that I watched The Honeymooners, so he would wait. And 11:31, he'd call me up and go, "What are you doing?" I just got done watching the show. Hey, come on over. We got another game to play.
Yeah.
And at the time, Mattel and Television had come out, and they had sent us all games and consoles and all that stuff. And we played video games till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'd go to sleep for a couple hours, have a 6:30 a.m. pickup, and go back to work the next day.
I couldn't take it nowadays. Ain't no way. 13, I could do that. Ain't no way I could do that now. So what games?
Exactly.
What games were you playing back in the day? That meant 77.
Oh God, we played Frogger and Space Invaders,
right.
Pac-Man,
Yeah.
and Burger Time. You know, oh God, Asteroids. I have to go back and try and remember all the games.
I mean, I remember when it first came out, man. That was a big thing. A lot of us people that played pool, we started playing video games. Of course, nowadays they're so realistic; it's hard to keep up with. You still game?
Not really, but believe it or not, I actually have a little mini console in my kitchen. There was a game that I loved as a teenager called Elevator Action.
I remember it.
And I was in the Boston area doing a show, and a guy had this console, and it had Elevator Action, Donkey Kong Jr.,
right,
and about 12 other games. And I'm like, I have to have that for my house. Every so often, I want to play Elevator Action, and that's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that game. Yeah, I remember that game, no doubt about it. But that, like I said, gaming, man, it's gone to the extreme now. Golly, bum. At least I played.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, though, a lot of the games are, you know, violent related.
Right.
You know, shoot 'em up, kill 'em, bang, bang. And that was never me.
Right.
I love pole position and track and field.
Yeah.
And I'm a pinball junkie.
Yeah.
You know, there was a game, Space Invaders, that had the big alien in the back. And, you know, from that to my favorite pinball machine of all time is T2. You know, that was just the game that I loved. And, you know, I just, you know, as you get older, your outlook on life changes, what you do changes, you know, and we just get older, that's all.
Yeah. I'm trying to hold on as young as I can, but I'm like you. I'm gaining on the, you know, people that's 80 years old, they don't look so old anymore, you know, at this age. I'm thinking, well, that's not that old. But, you know, when you was a kid, somebody 30, 35 years old, you thought, wow, they're old. But that's the way it's going. So, well, if any of these folks want to get up with you, maybe with a cameo or anything like that, you got a website or anything they can go with, or maybe this new book coming out, where can they find that?
The only page that I really have that's for people, I do have a Facebook page, Scott Schwartz Actor. That's on Facebook, and then they can reach out to me on Cameo, you know, for little videos for their family members, their friends, or whomever.
Right, that'd be so cool. I might have to do that. Get you to wish my mother a happy birthday.
There you go.
There you go. It's all about that, man. But I appreciate you taking your time out. I know you're well, of course, I know nobody's really all that busy right now with the COVID stuff. Now, y'all pretty much shut down in California, right? I mean, nothing's going on really out there.
Pretty much, you know. I mean, there are beginnings of things happening in other places. They're more bigger productions because with all the stringent COVID rules and laws, there's a lot of money that's got to get spent on testing and what's going on there. More doctors on the set, more nurses, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But the little productions, you know, they haven't really started back up yet. I figure within a couple of months, you know, it'll semi get rolling again. You know, to the degree that a lot more people will be busy. It's just more other things. You know, it's funny. You kind of find things to do. You got to clean the house. You got to clean the garage. You got to just get stuff moved around. You want to know what's where, and you do things you haven't done in a long time.
Yeah. Well, now there's a lot of films being shot out here in Georgia. I think it's opening up some. There's a couple of them around here that's kind of started some.
Well, you got a wild state there, man. People are really going wacky on Georgia lately.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, there's information and there's misinformation and there's twisting and then there's, well, it's this. Well, no, it's really this. Well, no, what is it? If there's voting rights and laws and things that are being done, well, what are they? I don't want to hear the spin. Tell me what's there, and let's go from there.
Right.
And there are so many people and companies that have invested, tens and tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars there. And now you're calling for boycotts and this. And I'm going, what are people doing? Just look, see what's going on and let's, do the right thing.
I think a lot of it's just media hype. They like to get people on the news and watch the news and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just media hype.
Well, everybody's got to stir the pot. That's just the way it seems to be going right now.
Yeah.
Tell me what's good and tell me what's bad. When they say, oh, you can't give somebody on a voting line water, well, it kind of seems a little wacky.
Right.
That's exactly whatever. And then you hear somebody else go, no. That's not what it is. Somebody who works in the voting place, yes, they're allowed to give water. We just don't want people from either political party giving anything to people online.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I've always been an up the middle guy. I see good on both sides.
Right.
And there should always have been compromises as there always have been in the past. And right now it's either you're left or you're right. There's no more center anymore. And that's a big problem.
Yep, you're absolutely right about that. Well, we have got to get to a break, man. Scott, I appreciate you taking your time out and sharing a little bit of your story with us here this morning. And we'll be getting back with you here another day or two, maybe get you back on, see what else is going on. Be looking forward to reading that book.
You got it. Stay well, stay healthy, and try and enjoy each and every day.
There you go, man. You take care. Thank you. Thank you for listening. This is Stephen Phillips, host of The Morning Dish. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we have a lot more interviews out there to listen to. Plus, you can listen online every morning at WJULradio.com or Lake 97.7 WJUL. And give us a like on our Facebook page, The Morning Dish.